What's up, folks, and welcome to the Gift of Gaming podcast. It's the news episode because it's the beginning of a new month. That's right, we're hitting up everything about June. So grab a cup of tea, sit down, relax, and let your usual anchorman take you through the video gaming news. It's me, your host, Darren Wade, and today I am joined by, of course, the old reliable crew, the anchormen themselves, Mr. Xbox Games Pass himself, Luke Maycock. Luke, how are you?
I'm great, Darren. Thanks for having me back.
Of course, always a pleasure. And the PC playing, console hating, Laura hunting, full-time Canadian himself, Chris. Ooh. Chris, how you keeping?
I'm doing pretty well, Darren.
Happy out? You doing well?
Yeah, pretty well. Just kind of got through a bit of a gauntlet at work, and yeah. So
we were meant to have you. We were meant to have you last week. Myself and Andrew were holding down the fort because you were quite busy, but it's all calmed down now.
Yeah.
Nice. And Luke, how are things with you?
Great. Yeah, not too bad. Doing a bit of a switcheroo on the job side of things. So things have been chill. I've actually had a bit of downtime lately to play some games, and I've used that to do nothing but play Rocket League.
Nice.
Which was
nice. Yeah.
There's so many games I could have gone for, and I just wanted to be a DJ and play some ranked stuff. So
sometimes you just need to zone out and play something you're familiar with.
It was beautiful. Like have a podcast on in the background and just like play some ranked. I hit Diamond and just
Hot Wheels over here.
Just chilling.
I remember he was like, "Hey, do you want to play?" This is going back years. He was like, "Do you want to play some Rocket League with me?" And I was like, "Sure." And we did a couple of competitive against each other matches, and I was like, "Well, this is utterly pointless because Luke is unreal at Rocket League."
We started playing Supersonic Acrobatic
Rocket Powered Battle Cars,
which is the prequel game or the original game by the studio.
And such why change the name? I mean, I can see. Obviously, I can see why you changed the name, but don't change the name. That was an amazing name.
The theme song was so good as well. That was. If you don't know the Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars theme song, go and look it up because it is just as much of a mouthful, and they absolutely. They rock on it. It slaps so hard.
I think that's why I like. I mean, anytime I opened the game, I used to just get excited to play it purely for that opening,
for the theme song.
Yeah, I was like, I'm telling you that. So we're in the spare bedroom in the apartment today, guys, because I didn't book our fancy meeting room. So here we are, all nice and cozy together in this space. When I got back from work, I was in a rush. I was like, I need to eat some food, and I was like very excited to eat because yesterday for brunch, I went to Elephant and Castle and ordered their chicken wings, which are unbelievable. But the portions are massive, so I had like a whole half portion of chicken wings left. Mm-hmm. But because I was in a rush, because you guys were coming up straight after work and everything, and I just gotten back from the office, I was like wolfing them down, and I just had an image of when Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King,
Denethor
eating
that
was me.
Tomatoes and the chicken.
I stepped away from the table and I had like the sauce of the chicken wings down my arms, and I was like, oh man, I should probably go wash myself before the guys get here.
I thought you were going to tell us you swallowed a chicken bone or something. I was like, ooh.
Oh no, thank heavens. No, I mean I'm devoted to the podcast, but I don't know if I'm that devoted to the podcast.
You cancel it if you were.
So you guys, you've been playing Rocket League. Chris, you've been playing anything?
Oh God, it's been a hot minute since I've been on this show. So yeah, I've been through quite a few things. I went through my zone out phase a little while ago, and I 100%ed a game called Dredge. It's like a Lovecraftian fishing game.
I've been told about this. I'm supposed to get on this buzz. Yeah, Dredge.
It was a lot of fun. Pretty short, pretty simple, but yeah, it was very enjoyable.
That's the fishing one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kev and his brother Aiden
Kev was the one who told me about it the other day.
Yeah.
They were hooked on it. But so it's worth a shout.
Yep.
100%.
Other than that, jumped on Fall Guys again recently.
Oh, nice.
Got my 5 wins in a row achievement.
I still haven't won a game. And I turn it on occasionally to play it, and I still have not won a game of Fall Guys.
Ever since I did that, ever since I nearly got 3 in a row, I just was like, I get it.
Yeah,
I turn it off.
Yeah. Other than that, a lot of Street Fighter in rotation.
Nice.
I mean, such an amazing game. And this weekend, me and my buddies picked up a game called The Isle, which is open world survival, but you're dinosaurs. Oh. So you spawn in as like a baby stegosaurus, and you just got to run and try to eat and grow until you can fuck up a pack of raptors if they attack you.
It's good.
So fun. Or you can play as the raptors. And
I was going to say, are you always a...
No, there's probably, 10, 15 to choose from. All carnivores, herbivores. You got to get your diet in there. You got to drink water, but you got to watch out because a lot of players will play it's called a Dinosuchus. which is just infinitely growing crocodile. And you can't see them coming, so they'll just lunge out of the water, and like if you're too small, they'll just eat you in one chomp.
So it's like kind of open world, but everybody, like, most of or all the dinosaurs that you see are players?
There are some AI dinosaurs, but they'd be like little guys just to like, because when you're a juvenile raptor, you have to eat meat, but you obviously can't take out another dinosaur yet, so you got to find those or like scavenge off of like what a T-Rex left behind or something.
Right, okay. That sounds sick. That sounds really
It's a lot of fun. It's been in one of those games that's early access for years, and it's kind of like it's got its issues with the development focus, I would say. It's like long queue times getting the servers, and it's just it's a bit of a train wreck, but yeah, it was enjoyable.
Nice.
Very nice. What are you playing yourself there?
Playing Final Fantasy 16, but I think this has probably been the longest lull I have had in terms of time I've had for video games. There's been like a busy and like, nice complaints, hanging out with people, seeing friends, things like that, but I just have not. Like 16 I was so excited for, and I am a couple of us started at the same time. Craig started at the same time as me. We all got it day one. I think Craig's at the end game. I am like barely 10 hours into that game, and it's one of those things that eats away at me. I'm in there, I'm in working away, doing boring spreadsheet things, and I'm like, there's a whole Game of Thrones Final Fantasy waiting for me, and I just can't get the time to play it. So doing that when I can, and I tried getting back into Final Fantasy 9 on the Switch because of the 9 remake leaks that came out. I was like, maybe that's one I should play through. But I was like, I'm sorry, I barely have the time for 16. So.
Remake leaks? I thought they announced 9 remake.
So sorry, they have announced a 9 remake, but there were leaks way prior to that. So I started my 9 file ages ago and just kind of hop on. But I wanted to get back into it then recently, and I was like, I barely have time for 16. I can't go back and play 9. I finished that game. I know what happens. So I'm just waiting to play some 16. So apart from that, don't think I've gotten into anything. I mean, I think I said it to possibly Andrew when I was in the last episode, but I 100%ed my Advance Wars file, so I can.
Nice.
Nice.
You were having a hard time making time for that too a little while ago. No, you were trying to like grind out the first one to get to the second one.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I 100% the first one, 100% the second, got all the characters, and myself, Craig and Colin were only talking recently that we'd love to try and give the multiplayer a shot again, because there's like loads of issues with connectivity when you're doing like a local man play, but we found out a couple of troubleshoots to get that fixed. So we're talking about giving that a shot again, because we only played it for about 2 hours, and again we had like a couple of timeouts and stuff, but it's a fun game to play with your mates, like Fog of War, and just like, we all play games from like, which one is the best? Which one's the best at this game? We've all finished it, but which one's the best at it? So I'm still determined to convince them to have another shot at that. Otherwise, no, I'm looking forward to. I was only listening to the developer of Singers Run a News episode. The developer is behind Baldur's Gate 3, which is finally like releasing full release. I was playing like the alpha and the beta for the last like 3 or 4 years on and off on the Stadia. Haven't touched it since Stadia closed, obviously. But they were talking about how the game is like at least 70 hours long. Pure D&D game, like 70 hours long, and they reckon you'll probably want to play it 2 or 3 times, because the roles will change. Like you roll for literally everything, every decision, every check, certain routes, everything will be different each time you play. It's like, people probably want to do this 2-3 times. So that comes out in August. If I've got 16 finished by then, I'll be hopping on that train again. That game was a lot of fun. Even with the problems the Stadia had, I loved it. So coming out on something, I hope it'll be stable on the PS5. It could be amazing.
You'd imagine so.
Because it was an afterthought on the PS5, right? Aren't they probably just porting it at this point?
I guess so. I mean, I didn't think it was coming to consoles at all. And then the Summer Game Fest, their opening, which had the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer, also had the release date for Baldur's Gate 3, and it said it was coming out on PS5, and I was like, hot diggity damn.
One of the devs for that game is based here in Dublin, aren't they? Larian Studios?
Larian Studios, yeah. On I can't remember what that street's called, but I passed by the other day and I was like, oh damn, I should knock in. Hey, can I have a early copy? Give me a chance to play that.
I'm sure they'd love that.
Yeah. But I guess before we get into the news articles, which by the way, I think I mentioned to you guys before, I am so underprepared for this week's episode. I have links at best, but we'll get through it. I guess do some housekeeping. For those of you who are only popping on to listen to the podcast now, we do weekly episodes on basically anything we want to do with video games, the kind of chats that we like to have with mates, and we do post shows, which are kind of bonus content, and you can can find them on patreon.com/the gift of gaming. So if you like what you listen to and you want that a little bit more, for the price of a coffee every month, hit up our Patreon at patreon.com/the gift of gaming. Some people on there already, they're legends, they're deadly. Do what they do and listen to more of our content. It's great. But yes, I guess we get to the news. We got a couple of news items today, and I guess the first one is one about our good friend Hideo Kojima. A documentary was released this month, and this is...
it's already out. I thought it was just announced.
It was announced, but people have seen it. I don't know if it's available for us to see yet. Okay. Good question. But it was announced, people have watched it, and this is someone's...
screened.
Yeah, and this is someone's review. So this is by Ashley Barden at Kotaku.com. And it's titled "The Hideo Kojima Documentary is the Worst Kind of Fan Service."
Oh no!
So Hideo Kojima Connecting Worlds, PlayStation Studios and Kojima Productions' hour-long documentary on Metal Gear Solid creator Hideo Kojima is too in awe of its subject to see him clearly. Premiered at Tribeca Festival on June 17th, the documentary inflates Kojima's mythology as an untouchable auteur until it totally obscures him like a cloud. And in times when it's clear that he's only a man, it hides him again behind his work with the impressive shots of 2019's game Death Stranding. Kojima, to his credit, seems skeptical that this was the right approach. At the Q&A following the Tribeca screening, he quickly dismissed a worshipful comment from Kojima Productions developer made in the movie. "No, he's not a prophet. I don't see the future," he said. "I'm just living like you." There were some mild factual inaccuracies in the movie too that appeared to needle him. In particular, there's animation sprinkled throughout, mostly representing Kojima's childhood spent living through sci-fi books, picturing how his life could be made more incredible through technology. But he grew up in the northern region of Osaka, not the southern region like the animation depicts, Kojima said during the Q&A, without being prompt. Anyone could have known that and double-checked it had they read his essay collection, The Creative Gene, in 2021. I mean, ouch, this is a pretty...
It sounds like Kojima's doing most the flaming for her.
Anyone could have known all about little personal information the documentary offers if they were familiar enough with Kojima to have read or seen his existing writing and interviews. For example, Connecting Worlds spent some time on Kojima identifying as a latchkey kid returning daily to an empty, unlit house because his parents were always working. A New York Times profile already discussed this in 2020. He's a hard worker. He's a sleepless genius. Connecting Worlds has creative industry members like Resident Evil director Shinji Mikami, filmmaker Guillermo del Toro, and musician Grimes say repeatedly in marginally different ways, "I could have looked at any Reddit thread to hear that." Kojima is obsessed with movies. The documentary eventually presents itself like a revelation. No shit, his Twitter bio indicates with dry humor that 70% of my body is made of movies. Because of its superficiality, Connecting Worlds isn't a documentary for anyone who wants to actually learn something about Kojima, his obsessive creative process, or why I can't recall seeing a single woman in any of the shots filmed in the studio.
Damn. Oh, wow, dragged in that last comment.
Like, shots fired. Connecting Worlds is for the superfan who is terrified to challenge Kojima's reputation. It avoids the topic of Konami, which Kojima left behind after 3 decades, establishing both his career and cementing a somewhat angsty reputation altogether, and spends the majority of its runtime on cherry-picked moments from Death Stranding's production. There are several breathtaking scenes from gameplay which enforce the idea that Kojima is creating things inconceivably larger than life. When something isn't beautiful, we see Kojima provide fastidious, fatherly guidance from over developers' shoulders, but the camera doesn't linger on their drowsy eyes. When the camera is rolling, the atmosphere is suddenly positive, Kojima says amusedly during one filmed development meeting. I mean, it's not really painting any of this in a light or nice light. The viewer is never given a reason as to why the atmosphere should be anything but happy, deferential. When not focused on a colleague's glowing testimonial or an employee's nervous endorsement, Connecting Worlds has Kojima staring mirthlessly at things: pink sunsets, steel parking garages, Joy Division records. He stares at his actors wearing intricate full-body motion capture until they deliver the performance he wants, and at computer screens until they crash. The audience laughs patiently. I keep thinking that he's scared to die. This year I'll be 60, Kojima mused during the Q&A. I'm a little old, right? Later he said, maybe I don't have much time to live, but I want to keep making games. After that, he shyly brought up his age once more. A 59-year-old guy creating a game, isn't that something? Connecting Worlds doesn't poke this anxiety, though it ripples under its runtime like a fish in a shallow pond. I see Kojima's fear of death in his urgency and in his incredible games. They so often melt humanity into science, into fantasy, to form one invulnerable blob. But despite his protests, Connecting Worlds maintains that Kojima is a prophet after all. His unbelievable talent is unknowable, and unknowable things don't suffer stakes as high as death. I think it's heartless to look at a person and see only their output, not them. How terrified they insist themselves to be, but being a true fan requires some denial.
Yikes.
I don't even know where to start. Like, was she mad at the makers of the documentary?
Or Kojima?
Himself? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of both. He doesn't have the best reputation. I spontaneously just was talking about Hideo Kojima with someone in work today, and he was telling me about how much of a horn dog Kojima is on his Twitter, and I was like, didn't know that, but also having played Metal Gear Solid series doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Something like it's pretty sexy. Yeah, it's funny. It's the kind of thing that I saw Death Stranding and I was like, I do not want to play a walking simulator. Thank you very much. And I think and again, I haven't played it through at all, so maybe it's unfair of me to say, but he's the fine art video game producer, and I have very little time for fine art personally. Do you mean that thing where like, look at this very simple thing that's just a rock, but could it be more than a rock? I'm like, no, it's probably just a rock. Let's leave it at that, you know. So yeah, she's pretty chastising of the entire thing. That's a pretty heavy. The little nod to the fact that there's no female employees as well as a little bit of a stinger there and there as well.
Yeah, that was.
Didn't he roast Western audiences too at some point, saying like, because Death Stranding didn't do too well like in the West, and he's just like, oh yeah, those people don't get it or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wouldn't surprise me. The guy I think the guy believes is, again, I don't know Kojima, maybe this is harsh, but he strikes me as the kind of guy who believes his own mythology, the own mythology about himself, like, you know. But I mean, I love Metal Gear Solid. I wish
According to her, he doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm just
true.
a man.
I'm just a man scared of dying. But it's a pity because, you know, Kojima Productions is a relatively new thing, and they have Death Stranding, and I'm sure they'll have. I mean, Death Stranding 2 was already announced recently enough as well. Yeah. But to ignore Konami entirely just seems like a completely and utterly wasted opportunity. Like, why not talk about that into that? Like, then she said it there. Our author, what was her name again? Let me pop up here from Kotaku. Ashley Barden said it. Like, he was there for almost 3 decades. Made one of the most popular kind of, I suppose, spy games, stealth games ever, and not a single mention.
Claims to have invented.
Made his entire career, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, like, there must be like super bad blood there. If, like,
oh yeah, it seems like there really was off the back of Metal Gear 5.
Yeah.
It seems like I didn't deep dive the stories too much, but yeah, because he was gone off the project before the game was finished. Like, so they finished a Metal Gear Solid game without Hideo Kojima. So yeah, that's going to be some bad blood, I imagine. He claims that through Metal Gear that he invented the stealth genre. So
yeah, but he also has the
you're literally crawling under a box at one point. Like, is that like
I've made
cartoon?
But what does he call it? Like a Death Stranding is a Strand type game.
Oh yeah,
whatever the fuck that means. Like, you know,
a genre for it. Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. Yeah, it's kind of it makes me. The fact that Hideo Dog's in it as well makes me really not want to watch this. The idea of Hideo Kojima documentary sounds amazing to me because I think he's a really interesting guy. But and so I'd love to know more. And I don't know if you guys have listened to his podcast, but his podcast is actually great, like really well produced. He's a very blunt guy, so like he very much lets you inside his own brain. And I'd love to see a documentary that actually did a good job of like journalistically. With some solid like journalistic integrity, it was able to delve into his life and tell us a bit.
When I heard about this documentary, when we were talking about articles for this episode, that's what I was kind of hoping for.
Yeah,
a deep dive into the mind of a genius, maybe.
Yeah, but nobody. Nobody wants what that is.
I mean, we've seen where he goes with Metal Gear, so.
But it's interesting that she goes on to talk about the, you know, or how he even mentions that everybody's smiling when the cameras are on. And she almost talks about how people are nervously giving their glowing testimonials about him. I'm like, I got vibes of a pretty, maybe not so nice place.
Yeah,
to work. No, I'm not there.
And does she even know if it's the opposite? There?
Exactly. Like, yeah. Maybe Ashley doesn't like Hideo Kojima at all. Who knows? But that was interesting. But yes, I thought massively a missed opportunity to not go into what essentially made that guy's career, which was Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. Now, what else we got on the list? Because I'm just hitting the links here, guys. I am so under. Oh, next up is the Xbox Game Showcase.
Oh, cool.
So this, I've got an article here from IGN that kind of lists out the games. This is put together by Logan Plant, and I think I've actually simplified the list a little bit on one of my documents here. Bear with me a moment. Okay, so Here's the full rundown of the games that appeared on the showcase, and I'll maybe highlight a couple of ones that might be worth talking about. In no particular order, we got the announcement of Fable with no release date.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right out of left field.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Cyberpunk DLC releasing September 26th. Avowed to be released in 2024. The Xbox Series S 1 terabyte, and a more compact, so I mean, it's not really a Pro, more just a larger memory Xbox. Releasing 1st September. We got a Starfield trailer prior to the Starfield Direct. We got the game South of Midnight, Ubisoft's Star Wars Outlaws with a 2024 release date and confirmation that it's open world. Forza Motorsport being released October 10th this year. Clockwork Revolution. That's from the same guys that did is it BioShock and stuff? No?
Looks similar to that. It kind of looks like Bloodborne almost, to be honest.
That looks very, very cool.
I can't remember who developed it.
After that, we got Metaphor Re Fantasio releasing in 2024, which is the new game from the guys who did Persona 5.
Yeah.
33 Immortals coming 2024. Payday 3 with a release date of September 21st.
Payday 3, also a little out of left field.
I don't even remember seeing that one.
You didn't see Payday 3? I thought you would have been a Payday guy. Yeah, Payday 3 trailer. They dropped, the mask started popping up, and I'm like, are they like remaking is there a Payday sequel? And I saw that and I was like, fuck, okay.
Payday 2 is cute. Like they still, a lot of people glorify it as one of the best sandboxes of all time. I think it's Payday. I might be wrong, but there's some wacky shit you can do in the game apparently.
And I'd say this one would be just as well. I mean, the trailer looked quite as good. No gameplay though, if I remember correctly. Just a trailer, just an announcement trailer.
Cinematic trailer.
Yeah. We got Persona 3 Reload, which is a remake of Persona 3. We got Persona 5 Tactica, which is a tactical Persona 5.
Which was also announced as an exclusive, and now it's coming out for the Direct. So
for the Nintendo Switch? yeah. Exclusive my ass.
Yeah.
We got the Sea of Thieves, The Legend of Monkey Island. Nice crossover.
Oh, yeah, that looked cute.
Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 with the Dune crossover.
Yeah.
An interesting take.
The Dune crossover, I think, was for 2023 or whatever the current one is.
But
they also announced that
it was coming 2024, the new one. We got Senua's Saga Hellblade with a release date of 2024.
Actually looks good,
yeah. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth 2024. That trailer did nothing for me at all.
It was great. The people
is that the Yakuza one?
Yeah.
Where he wakes up naked on a beach?
Yeah, the Yakuza spin-off series, Like a Dragon, following one of the side characters from the mainline Yakuza series, or from
one of the main characters.
No, he was a side character. He was a very rambunctious side character in the mainline story, and he got his own spin-off series that is apparently the first game they released for it was very well received. So it's exciting.
I hear people going nuts about these Yakuza games. I got a buddy at work convincing me. He's like, you have to buy this game. It's on sale right now. Steam sale. Go buy it. And I was like, I don't know, man. It looks pretty nutty.
There's so many of them.
I'm super into the idea of them. I just haven't put the time in. But it's like a series where you're like a Yakuza guy and there's a whole epic dramatic story that plays out and you're going around fighting and doing all these crazy things. But it makes its reputation in all the side stuff you can do. So there's mad fishing games, there's karaoke games, there's RC car tournaments you can take part in, and everything you could imagine.
Right? Wasn't there?
What?
I thought there was a sumo scene too.
Yeah, absolutely, probably.
Any hobby you can think of in the real world, Yakuza has done a whole side game version of it within their game. Nuts for that kind of thing. But that was a cool announcement too, I thought.
Well, I quite enjoyed it. Was that classic thing where he's obviously naked, but they did whatever they could to not show you
to cover it up.
Yeah, but in quite a funny way. I was like, that's entertaining. And then Fallout 76, we got the Atlantic City expansion. I don't think they gave a date for that one, but again, does nothing for me. Path of the Goddess, that new kind of weird alien samurai from Capcom. He's quite artsy, I think it looked anyway. Towerborn, which I can't actually remember what Towerborn was, but we did get Still Wakes the Deep, which looks like that horror one on the oil rig, which I thought would probably be right up your street, Chris.
Yeah, that one looked real cool. Because at first he was just scrambling to get the rig open. I was like, oh, this looks cool. And he's like, by the way, you're being chased. I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my kind of game.
At least one of the devs working on that is one of the studios behind Amnesia.
Okay, yeah.
Which is why it looks exactly like Amnesia kind of thing.
Then we got Dungeons of Hinterberg, which I think was a card game that they've turned into a 3D top-down kind of strategy game. Elder Scrolls Online Necrom, I guess more Elder Scrolls Online stuff. We got Cities and Skylines 2 with a release date of October 24th. I'm actually pretty psyched about that.
A lot of people love Cities and Skylines. I've never played it personally, even though it looks like something I might actually like.
I got really deep into it one time, especially during COVID, because like I had nothing but time. But I got so into it that I was naming like individual streets. So I would build a little section and I would make sure I named my individual streets, and this street has a cycle lane and all that type of stuff. But I was really like hyper focused, and I think I got Kev onto playing Cities and Skylines, and we were watching this YouTube video of a guy who his job is like, I think he does city planning as part of a job somewhere in the States. So he was talking about like the importance of X, Y, and Z when building a city and showing it through Cities and Skylines, which is very entertaining.
That's kind of how I like heard about the game, because I was watching people like actually explain city planning through this game and just like concepts like the single line city, and then there's also the Tesla dam or whatever, where you build it and like on certain angles with like divots, and it's supposed to prevent like tsunamis. It'll just like push it back out to the water. People were like testing it. I was like, well, this is pretty wild.
Yeah,
this is a video game.
But I got way too lost in the minutiae of it all, because I went to say to Kev, like send me a little screenshot, a little video of how your Cities and Skylines city is progressing. He had a fucking metropolis, and I was here with like the suburbs was all I had put together. Like I spent so much time on the minutiae. Like
you've got your own little neighborhood.
That was all. But I'm like, because graphically it looks very, very good. And I think that people were talking about what they could see in that trailer. Again, it happened way too quick for me to see, but people talked about lots of quality of life improvements, like in terms of doing sewage and water and road building is all made a lot easier and less, I guess, just frustrating. And the last thing they announced before they went into the Starfield Direct was a game called Jusant, which is that kind of climbing game, which actually looks really, really good.
That looks so good, yeah.
Oh, sorry, what was it called?
Jusant?
How do you spell it?
Oh, okay.
Jusant, I think.
There's another one that just came out, pretty popular on Twitch right now, despite it not actually being reviewing too well. It's called Just Up. All you do is go up.
Just go up.
You're just trying to climb.
Could be good. But I mean, there's a couple of big hitters in that, I have to say. Fable, for one, was something I wasn't expecting. I was always hoping that they do. I mean, we played Fable, Luke, when we were really young in your house on your Xbox. But to have Richard Ayoade, is that how you?
Yeah.
To have him, like, I loved that. I loved how they did that scene that he was just like he's being interviewed, and it turns out he's actually the giant. Which is very, very clever. So that looks great. What else am I excited for? The Cyberpunk DLC looked fantastic. Starfield, they did
That's not special to Xbox though. So
no,
it's cool that it got dropped there. But
I'm trying to think of what else they have. I mean, the Starfield trailer and the Direct looked unbelievable.
Looks so good. My biggest disappointment is because it's going to be a huge, massive game, but it's also only single player, and I just don't want to sit there for like 80 hours by myself exploring space. It's just
interestingly enough, because I saw that, I think we put it up in the group chat, and I was saying, man, you know, as much as it pains me to admit, the Xbox showcase blew the PlayStation one out of the water, and especially with that Starfield, I was like, that's the kind of thing that could actually make me either sign up to Games Pass or just buy an Xbox to play Starfield. But what's the guy behind it? You know,
Todd Howard.
Todd Howard
in Bethesda.
He did a Q&A with the Kind of Funny guys again, and during, like not long after that was announced. Yeah,
nice.
But the interesting thing about that was they are talking about how it's stuck at, I think it's 30 FPS.
No, I think he's 60, but he's adamant that like you never go higher than that.
Never go higher than that.
He's been like that for years, I think.
Yeah, and then he also said that of all, because there's thousands of planets, but he was like probably 10% or less actually have life on them. And then there was people talking about what they believe, like people put screenshots based on kind of what he had said. They'd put screenshots of what they believe the graphics would actually look like compared to the Direct. And it's kind of dampened my spirits a little bit on it, because I mean Bethesda's kind of a little bit known for the reveals being a little bit grander than the game. But if it's anything like what we saw in that Xbox showcase or the Starfield Direct, like the ultimate space game.
The shipbuilding looked so cool.
The ship crew, it's all I've ever wanted was to pull together my own crew and go out.
Yeah, I would build one of those like aliens from like Galaga or something. Just
one of because they had like a Transformer, like an Optimus Prime looking thing in the trailer, which is actually quite clever, just to show people people what they think. But Luke, based on that showcase, are you excited for what Xbox has to offer over the next? I mean, they didn't announce anything further away than 2024. So, like, next 12 months, you happy with what Xbox looks like it's doing?
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, we talked about it a bit before when we talked about the Phil Spencer interview.
Oh, yeah.
I was already very happy with the direction that Xbox was going, and now they've just dropped a bunch of games that I'm just going to have on my console as they release, and that's incredibly sick. Like all those games that you're excited for are coming to Game Pass, service I already have.
Day one.
We'll just be there, and you can pre-install them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like Starfield, I'm quite excited for. I'm not 70 quid excited for it. I'm not even 60 quid excited for it, but I'm like 12 quid
we'll probably
excited
get
for
more
it.
of those games on this. Through this episode?
Yes, yeah, I say we will. But yeah, no, it's sick. And I love how much, again, like one of the things I praise about Microsoft and Xbox, I love how much focus there was on games like Jusant and the creepy one on the oil rig and stuff like that. Like there's just massive variety of gameplay experiences on the Xbox, and to have all that dropped in my lap, I have for years now, I felt spoiled by what like Microsoft and Xbox have done for me as a gamer. And that looks like it's just continuing. And yeah, absolutely sick. I'm delighted.
Way to go, Xbox. The next one is, I'm not going to go straight into a Nintendo Direct. Let's not get too bogged down with lists of games, but I'll come back to that one in a second. What I will want to is, I saw this pop up on my head, my streams and stuff like that, Chris, and I said I couldn't do a news episode without bringing to you rumors of a possible Final Fantasy VI remake.
Yeah, this is actually the first I've heard of it, like just before this episode.
No, I say, I don't mean to get your hopes up. It was just an interesting article that I read on, like, because we always talk about Final Fantasy VII being the ultimate Final Fantasy, and we're loving the remake that we're getting currently, and you've always stood by 6 as being the best.
Final Fantasy, yeah.
So I'll read this. This is coming from GamesRadar.com, and it is by Hyrule Crier, and it is Final Fantasy 16 remake would be difficult, but Square Enix staff want it to happen. So Final Fantasy VI Remake would be difficult according to one Square Enix developer. Speaking during a roundtable interview on Square Enix's YouTube channel to promote the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster collection, Yoshinori Kitase shed some light on a potential Final Fantasy VI Remake. I think Final Fantasy VI Remake would be difficult, the veteran developer said when asked about the prospect. Kitase's mind is still clearly on the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy in a lead producer role. The Square Enix veteran, therefore, isn't able to give a potential Final Fantasy VI remake a lot of thought right now, but he reveals that even plenty of people within Square Enix themselves often ask him for a remake of the 6th Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi then stepped up on behalf of all Final Fantasy VI fans around the world. The former Square Enix veteran sort of jokingly pushed Kitase on a potential remake, and Kitase replied that it's really not a simple game to make. This is a pure speculation on our part, but how would one even go about remaking the train suplex? I'm sure you remember that scene from the game.
Oh, yeah.
How do you remake that?
I've done it many times.
Not that there aren't millions of fans around the world that would appreciate seeing a train getting suplexed in high-definition, cutting-edge graphics, but it'd be no easy thing to pull off. A recent rumor claimed that Final Fantasy IX remake is in the works at Square Enix, so Final Fantasy VI fans might be waiting even longer than the third part of the remake trilogy for a shot at their favorite game in the series being born anew. Until then, you can always pick up Final Fantasy VI standalone in the Pixel Remaster series, which is available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch platforms. Chris, Final Fantasy VI remake, what does that look like to you?
I mean, first I want to address the fact that they kept saying like it wouldn't be easy, because proof of the Final Fantasy VII remake is that it could be easy. The real hard part is kind of like staying true to the original and not like losing the original's charm, because the 7 was completely different. Like that's all you'd have to do. Take the same characters, get the same general story, but you could put it on rails like that. Like it would be easy to build. It's just, would it be worth it? Like, would the old fans want to see it in that style?
Would you want to see it in that? Like, I mean, if a Final Fantasy 16 or 6 came like a Final Fantasy 7, like what we're getting with Final Fantasy 7, is that the way you'd want to see it reborn?
Definite serious like graphical improvements, maybe just like a top down over the shoulder like we've been seeing for years, but I definitely wouldn't want to see it on rails. I would want to see the world map.
Yeah.
I was about to say come back, but remain as it was like back then.
Yeah.
But there's other like liberties they could take, like obviously suplexing a train in full 3D is and that's a bit over the top, but they could work in like a cool cutscene where like Sabin just stops the train like a Goku or something, or like Superman just like knocks it off its rails with
just make it a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could still go full anime, but not like picking up an entire train and dropping it. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with this. The other issue is with the scale of these games and what they want to build, like graphically. The roster would probably have to get trimmed down too, which would suck. I mean, there's some throwaway characters they wouldn't necessarily.
What is there? Is there 12 or something like that?
There's 12. There's 3 full teams of 4. I think there might be a couple secret characters after that, but can't remember the actual count.
Yeah, it's a lot, because one of the things that I've really enjoyed about the 7 remake is that they've come out on Twitter, the producers and everything like that, and they've said you can expect us to develop all of the individual characters' stories, which I'm really excited about, because my worry was a lot of that stuff might get cut. But that's probably a massive ask when you've got a roster which is double the size, and then some potentially if you're talking about secret characters, etc. So watch the space, Chris. You just got to live through a 7 part 2, a 7 part 3, a Final Fantasy 9.
That's the other thing too, is I don't like the idea of breaking it up into parts. Like, if they're going to sell me Final Fantasy 6, I want it in one, maybe 2 installments: the World of Balance and the World of Ruin. Because as you know, like, you've played the games, right?
I have.
I have not.
Oh, okay. So halfway through the game,
is it halfway?
Change. No, it depends on how much content you do in that section of the game, because you can kind of rush that. But that would be the natural stopping point. But I'd still rather it in just like one section.
Yeah, you don't want to wait. Like, I mean, it would be a total of probably 12 years in the making, like the 7 remake malarkey, you know. Hey, I'm in, man. I watched that Rebirth trailer and I was like, yeah, you can hook it to my veins. The next one is a article that Luke, you brought to our attention. I kind of thought, wow. I thought I was being too harsh for a while, but no, I'm right back where I was. So this is all to do with CD Projekt Red coming out saying that Cyberpunk 2077's launch wasn't that bad. And this is coming from GameSpot.com by Claire Lewis. Oh God, I can't believe they did this. Cyberpunk 2077's launch wasn't nearly as bad as reviews made it out to be, at least according to CD Projekt Red's Vice President of Public Relations, Michael Platko-Gowelski. I think I probably butchered that. In a recent interview...
Probably his first job. He was just like, I don't know what else to say. Like, please believe me.
It was good, right? In a recent interview with GamesIndustry.biz via Kotaku, Platko-Gowelski chalked up the game's poor reception to bandwagoning, stating that at some point it became cool, quote-unquote, to hate the game. I actually believe Cyberpunk on launch was way better than it was received, he said. And even the first reviews were positive. Then it became a cool thing not to like it. We went from hero to zero really fast. That was the tough moment. We didn't know what was happening.
The cool thing was to review it well, because it had been so anticipated for so long. And then people were like, enough of this shit. Like, this is a broken game. People couldn't get out menus, constant like data corruption and like game crashes. It was an awful release, and to say anything otherwise is just
crazy.
Historically bad, because it's the first game for Sony to change their refund policy for specifically.
The article gets onto Sony's stance on it as well, which I mean is case in point. In reality, the game was so poorly received, Sony felt compelled to remove it from the PlayStation Store just days after it launched. The game was only added back to Sony's digital storefront after developers spent over 6 months working to improve the game. But despite his comments, Platko-Gowelski did acknowledge that the game had its fair share of issues and assured players that the studio is committed to delivering a quality product, even if the initial showing was rather lackluster. The COVID-19 pandemic started when we were still making Cyberpunk, he says, but now we have the time to work on these tools to develop them to create best practices. It's an interesting time. The studio is currently preparing for the launch.
They have the time now. Like, that doesn't make sense either. I mean, you're still working from home, and I don't get it.
The studio is currently preparing for the launch of Cyberpunk 2077's first DLC, Phantom Liberty, which is set to release on September 26, 2023 and is available for pre-order now. The DLC offers the studio a unique opportunity to earn a second chance from players who were initially put off by the game's rocky launch, and CD Projekt Red is taking full advantage of this. At the same time as this DLC, we knew we wanted to work on Cyberpunk and make not just a great expansion, but also improve a lot of things in the base game. Platko-Gowelski said of the DLC's development. It was quite a journey, but right now I'm just excited to see what people say when they start playing. Though it's only available on current-gen platforms, the Phantom Liberty DLC introduces another character to the game who is played by a Hollywood actor, Idris Elba in this case. But behind all the hype, Pat Kogowski says the development team is committed to fixing more of the game's issues. For me, as the person responsible for communication, I want to rebuild a connection with gamers because we had people following us for years and they were disappointed in the launch. Pat Kogowski explained, that for me is the biggest thing. We have to make the game for them. We had, and it's funny because we had to do, it was one of the actual podcasts that the three of us did here in the apartment again. I couldn't book the room. And it was early days as well, one of our first news ones. And I was like very heavily critical on Cyberpunk's
Labor
launch.
Love award.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Labor
Yes,
Love Award.
well
And
remembered.
you know, since it's fresh in my mind right now, CD Projekt Red comes out and announces that, you know what, this big DLC we've been pushing for a while, free update because we fucked up so bad. What are your thoughts on it winning Labor of Love in that point?
If the DLC is free?
Yeah.
I mean, if they win Labor of Love again this year?
No, I mean, they've already won it. But if they won it because of something like that.
If the DLC that they released was of high quality and released it for free, me and Andrew had a great chat last week about No Man's Sky and how they made so much DLC that was for free to actually give you the game that you deserved at the beginning and then some for free.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red has put a lot of time into
Making the game they promised.
Yeah, or just fixing, because the whole map and the world was there and everything like that, but just none of it worked. So they spent a lot of time fixing it, I guess, as opposed to actually building on it. And if it became free, Chris, I might consider the labor like a good redemption, but it won't be free. And I can't like quotes like this, messages like this being released by the head of marketing and communication. It's so tone deaf to say that it was just a cool thing to jump on the bandwagon. And my argument always comes down to, I'm in an incredibly privileged position that if a game comes out for 60 quid and I want it, I'm usually in a situation where it doesn't take much thought and I can go and buy it. I'm incredibly privileged to be like that. Not many people are, and a lot of people would scrimp and save and have to put whatever they can together to buy the game that they want for 60 quid.
Just
and
wait until Steam sale. It's like 60% off right now.
That's like a smart financial thing, of course. But when you see, and this is what I mean about, this is why I'm a little bit nervous about Starfield, but when you see the kind of release and the build up to the release that Cyberpunk had, they were releasing trailers and images and in-game stuff that wasn't really true to form at all. It was essentially false advertising because that was not what we got.
Where were the review copies for like that or like demos?
They didn't give any review copies. They weren't allowed.
Yeah, well, I wonder why.
Yeah,
that's
a
a red flag right there. And same with we have to go back to the old days of demo. Demos always have to be available.
Yeah, and I played the demo of Final Fantasy 16 and knew I was going to be in for a good time, because they released that and gave us a bit of time, and I knew what I was getting. I'd get the money for. But yes, it should be, if it's a big blockbuster like that, maybe they're forced to be like, here's a taster of the first hour of the game, so you know it's not fucked.
Yeah, you knew that was the case with 16 because you knew that you'd have a save file that would transfer over. But they kind of botched it with 15, where they had a little side quest from the game, and they kind of embellished it a lot for the demo, and it wasn't an accurate reflection of even how that quest played out in the real game.
Because that was the Behemoth.
Yeah, the Behemoth hunting quest.
Yes.
Totally side quest.
Well, Final Fantasies have historically done that. Like when you get to the end of the demo or something, it's a completely different boss that's actually supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Like I remember the Final Fantasy VII demo back in the day. It was the first mission, the bombing mission.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the end boss was totally different. You had different spells and stuff.
Interesting.
And Tiff was part of the party at that point.
I didn't know.
Where she's not. It's only you and Barrett,
but they actually did, to try and curry favour back over with the public, going back to CD Projekt Red. The way I first played Cyberpunk was, I think it was about a year after the release, or maybe like 6 months, 9 months after the release. They made it available. They made a demo version available of Cyberpunk, whereby you could download the full game and you could play it for 6 hours for free. Is what they gave out. And that's what got me to buy Cyberpunk eventually. Not even then, because I played 6 hours and there's still loads of bugs and glitches. Like one of the guys walked into a shelf and papers just went all over the screen, like exploded and
that's too bad. That even has like a charm to it. I'm talking about
Well, what killed it for me, which is why I still haven't returned to it. I mean, I have a copy on the PS5. My brother's he's playing it and he's really enjoying it at the minute. Not Andrew, my other brother Graham, and I wish I could give it that chance, but it was like crashing my PlayStation 4. Like I got it originally for the PlayStation 4 because the PS5 wasn't out when it was released, and I would play it and I would go out to that little open world, I mean the map essentially, and all of a sudden everyone would boom strike a T-pose and I get a blue screen and my whole PS4 would shut down and I'd have to like reboot everything. And like fine if you've got your bugs, but if it's crashing your console...
Damn it, come on. It wasn't that bad. PR just told us so.
PR just so...
I was just being hip to the cool with the cool cats, you know, ragging on the game. But that's, you know, this is... do I think it would deserve labor love? Not if that's their attitude. Not if they still haven't been humbled by the experience.
That's
yeah,
right.
I think that's fair as well. Interesting that you brought up that you played it originally on the PS4, because I didn't even realize that, but as part of that article, you said the Phantom Liberty DLC is only coming out on current gen consoles.
Yeah.
It's not coming out for any PS4, Xbox One
but they did
owners of the game.
They did the same with Horizon Forbidden West. The DLC was only available for PS5 users
Really?
as well. Yeah, which I guess is kind of... Because it's funny, I think we're in a period of time where COVID and the pandemic really affected... Like there's 2 years of these kind of this current gen's life cycle that didn't really count because production was done so badly or so poorly, or it caused so many issues. You've got a lot of games that are like, you know, the end of one console's life cycle to the beginning of the next. But Horizon came out, you know, a good while into the PS5's life cycle, like 2 years afterwards. But it was still considered like the end of the PS4 to the beginning of the PS5 because you could play it on both. And then the DLC was like, no, we're going to focus on what we're actually capable of doing.
That approach to
it's a weird
game.
It's a weird way of doing it because obviously they're leaning hard on the hardware features of the new console for...
I don't even think it's... I think they're leaning a bit lightly, but they still want people to buy both the game and the console.
I think it's a marketing thing.
And it's a thing where, because especially with the game like Horizon, because it only released... I'm surprised it didn't actually include this news article, but maybe it was only released over the weekend, possibly. So it's a July piece. But there was leaked reports that actually had the cost of what it took to develop Horizon, what it took to develop The Last of Us Part 2. And they're well over the 200 million mark. So you got to make your money back. I mean, if you made Horizon exclusively PS5 and you have all that production issue or like availability issues of the PS5, how much money are you going to make back on Horizon being exclusive
and
to
you
PS5?
also want to sell the PS5s and not have people just play the PS4s for a couple months later because all these good games are scheduled to come out on the PS4, right?
Yeah. It's a dumb way of doing things.
But yeah, just as I was forgiving CD Projekt Red in my heart...
Yeah, well, fuck that person. Anyway.
Fuck that guy, that one guy in particular.
I know it was probably just like, it's not like they came out with a press release and said this. It was probably more a case that this person, the head of communications, said this, and with a journalist in the room who just licked their lips and was like, sorry, could you repeat that? And
I was hoping it would be just some disgruntled dev drunk in a bar, and he's like, it wasn't that bad, guys, and then suddenly it blew up into...
But no, the VP of communication.
Wowee. Yeah. It wasn't that bad. It became cool. It became a cool thing not to like Cyberpunk. It'd be cool if you made the fucking game right. But anyway, I digress. We'll go into our last one, which is we'll kind of run through this list quickly, but we're blessed with directs, and we can't, there's not enough time to cover all the directs. We had like a Capcom Forward, a Ubisoft Presents, Annapurna Interactive Showcase, Xbox, and now we'll go on to our Nintendo Directs one. So let me just get the list up here for you fellas. Where are we? Whoops, I didn't even save that link. You can tell I'm really, really prepared. Oh, here we go. I've got it now. So the list of things we have, and I thought that was actually quite a good Nintendo Direct, but what did make me sad was, I don't know if you guys felt it as well after watching it, but to me it struck me as like the death knell for the Nintendo Switch. It was like, this is the last push of things we're giving the Nintendo Switch, because it's 7 years old now, right? They have to be getting ready to announce whatever their new console is, their new hardware.
Maybe. Right. Yeah.
So I'll go down through the list of what we got. So this is, where did I get this? I got this from Eurogamer.net by Ed Nightingale. After the release of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo's Switch slate was looking a little bare bones for the rest of 2023. But after today's Nintendo Direct, we have a much clearer picture of what's still to come, with a look at Pikmin 4 headlining the showcase, plus reveals of a Super Mario RPG remake and a brand new 2D Mario game. First, though, Nintendo showed a fresh look at the forthcoming Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC heading to Switch later this year. The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You got Scarlet or Violet, right, Chris?
I got Violet. Yeah, didn't finish it though.
Do you have any interest in?
I've never I had Sword and Shield 2 and X and Y. I don't think X and Y had post game deals.
No, it was 3DS. So
yeah, okay. Well, anyways, I'm not buying these because they're like full price almost, and it's just like DLC to extra areas, and like you can catch more Pokemon over here.
It is one of the.
For fuck's sakes, I talked into this one for the new ones. Like,
I think a lot of those DLCs are one of the rare cases on the Nintendo Switch store where you can get them in a sale, or you can get them as part of a bundle. If you don't own the game already, you can be like, "Oh, I'll get the Scarlet and Violet plus the DLCs." And they usually do 2 DLCs this time. So is this the first Ring of DLC coming out for Scarlet and Violet?
Yes, this is the first Ring of DLC. Yeah, and it's coming in 2 parts. I don't think they're released at the same time. There was a cool. Like it looked like a kind of like a Japanese kind of rural area that you go to, and there's kind of a festival going on, and there's some mysterious Pokemon stuff. And the second one was this cool school out in the middle of the ocean where you can train your Pokemon in a certain way, and there's a cool battle area that includes all of the biomes all in one place.
Oh, okay.
Actually quite good. But again, modern day Pokemon's games do not interest me whatsoever.
Not even a little.
But I mean, like a good opener, I mean, because Pokemon's such a moneymaker for them, so I absolutely understand why they opened it with that. Next, we were met with Sonic Superstars, the new 2D side-scroller, and it's heading to Nintendo Switch. Looks so dope. Mm-hmm. And 4-player. Yeah. Which to me actually seems a bit mental. And it's
not just useless Tails as the second player, right? They all look like they could
do new stuff. Yeah, because Knuckles can... He's got the special power. That other girl, Amy Louise? Is that the...
Amy Rose.
Amy Rose. Yeah, that looks great. And it's a real nice art style for it as well. It's kind of... I liked how they brought out it was the Sonic Mania kind of animation into the more modern look. It was quite a good reveal.
I haven't seen this one. Yeah, sounds cool.
After that, we got free-to-play Life Sim Palia. That was heading to Switch this winter. I mean, another
my God, these farm simulators, they need to cool it down. I was like, surely over the past year, we've seen the trailer for this exact game because we've seen so many farm simulators.
I was watching Maximilian Dude.
Just stop. You can't top Stardew.
Yeah,
just give up.
That is
Don't
the best
try.
Yeah. But Maximilian Dude was watching this and he was like, oh, a life sim? Cool. And then as the trailer was going on, he was saying things like, have we got fishing? Oh, we do. Yeah. Okay. Is there farming? Oh, okay. Have I seen this album before? Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, free to play, so we can't complain too much, I guess.
We will.
Stop us. This is what we're here for. Then we got Persona 5 Tactica, which was also announced for the Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox exclusive.
The Xbox exclusive.
Can't wait to play it on Switch.
Then we got Myth Force, which launched on Nintendo Switch later this year, with its kind of 90s weekend cartoon vibe. And I actually quite like the look of that. I don't know if you remember it.
Myth 4.
Myth Force.
I remember 90s. Didn't they promote it as like 90s cartoons?
Yeah. The guy who was narrating it was like, are you all ready to play the video game of like your 90s cartoons? Because it's got vibes of like He-Man and everything like that.
I remember this now. Yeah.
Now, in terms of the gameplay, it doesn't look like it's my kind of loop, but I mean, it was a fun trailer. It looks like a fun game. And then you'll be really excited for this because the next thing that was announced was the next Splatfest. And what the next Splatfest theme will be. And the next Splatfest theme is ice cream flavors. Are you vanilla, strawberry, or mint chip? And you can decide that on the 15th to the 17th of July. Out of curiosity, are you vanilla, strawberry, or mint chip, Luke? What's your...
Mint chip. Bro, I can't wait for Splatfest.
Oh my God. Do you even have Splatoon?
Oh, that's what it's about?
Yeah.
Never mind. I was talking about something different. Ignore what I just said. Strike that from the record.
What are you, Chris?
I mean, if it's going to be my colors in game, definitely mint chip. But are we talking like...
No, flavors. I'm
a boring person, man. I'm vanilla.
I'm on your team, man. Yeah. There's nothing but nicer than a good, strong vanilla.
And it pairs so well with other treats.
No such thing as strong vanilla. You guys are lame.
I'll beat you at the Splatfest and we'll see which flavor wins, Luke.
We'll throw down at the Splatfest. Hell yeah. There was I was in Tokyo in November and they go hard on the Splatoon marketing over in Tokyo. Big favorite in Japan, and they had these like little game ads would pop up on the train systems. I don't know why I can't pick my words at the moment. Get game ads on the train systems. They had a little game pop up every now and then, and it was like a Splatoon themed game where the characters would run around painting colored lines, and you had to guess which one of them would fill the most of the screen before the end of the ad. And it was sick. It was always the same answer. So after watching it once, I got the answer, and then that
What
was
you
it.
should
It
have
was
done
a cool concept.
when strangers got onto the train, you're like, I think it's going to be, that one. I think I know this.
Go up to a Japanese salaryman like, bro,
I got this.
I got blue.
I am
Ow. Blue.
I am going to pause the podcast for a moment while I fix my mic stand, which I just caught as it fell over. So bear with me for a second,
One
fellas.
sec, be right back.
Be right back. All right, and we're back. We made it, and we're still recording, I think. Yeah, looks good. Luke and Chris, you still with me?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can cut all this out in the post-production. It's absolutely fine.
Well, leave it.
It's all good.
It's all part of the process.
Professionalism, right? So that's... next one was a good one. The long-awaited Detective Pikachu Returns. Did you see the trailer for that one?
Movie trailer, is it?
No, it's a new game.
A game.
Yeah.
So the Ryan Reynolds Detective Pikachu was based off a game that came out years ago, and everyone wanted them to make the next one. But I have a serious problem with his voice. Do you remember? He has like a really deep, like, it's kind of like they were like, oh, what Ryan Reynolds did was very funny. Let's go another step further and give Pikachu this real, like, deep kind of voice, whatever.
I think I do remember this from the release.
I mean, I'm happy for the fans, but it did nothing for me, unfortunately.
Absolutely not.
What else we got? Oh,
give me another Pokemon Snap. Oh, I'd be pretty stoked.
You'll take that one for sure. We got then the remake of the SNES classic Super Mario RPG, and it's on its way.
This one I was so stoked for, but then I realized my issue after when I looked it up and see what that pre-order was, and you already mentioned it in the show, is it's not a 60-euro game. Is
that how much it's out for?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's what I read. Maybe it was just a mistake of just like because it just popped up at the store. I'm thinking it's Nintendo, so I don't think they would sell it for cheaper than
and it's
40.
a Mario license, so
yeah. But like a full price is no. I mean, yes, they've remastered it, but it's still bare bones the same Nintendo game.
Yeah, that's a big ask. 60 smackaroos, because I think it's a decently long game as well. Not mad long, even as far as like the Mario RPGs go. But remaking a full RPG like that could be worth it. I don't know.
Well, it looked amazing. I saw a lot of screenshots from the original game based, and then what they've remade. And I'm like, well, actually, there's. It's not just like they've up-resed or made everything better 3D of what already existed. They've definitely improved like all aspects of it. Like the landscape around all the scenes looks like it's way more fleshed out.
But I mean, the whole like creative process is already done.
Yeah, it's done.
Like, they don't have to pay for any of that. Like I think even like the shots are going to be like a one for one.
They look like it, yeah.
Replica. Yeah, the game mechanics are all still going to be there and set in stone. So to charge like a full price game for a not.
But Chris, we are currently living in the remake era of video games. That's what we pay for now. No one wants to make an original game anymore, but none of the big companies want to make an original game.
But in my opinion, this doesn't even look like, because they're calling it a remake. This is what I envision a remaster.
A true proper remaster for sure.
A true remaster, whereas like your Final Fantasy VII is a remake.
Yeah.
It's
but
the
Final
same
Fantasy
game, same like characters and story, I guess, but just remade completely differently.
But what they did with 8 and 10 and 10.2 were remasters, where they just up-resed everything, like punched up all the environments, punched up all the backgrounds, more polygons, more textures, like nicer textures. Yeah. 60 quid is cheeky.
I would probably pay it in that I never finished the original Super Mario RPG, and I guess if there was ever a way to play it, this is probably the way. If you haven't played it before,
there's still a lot of charm in like going back and playing the old one. Yeah, it still holds well to this day.
Well, after the Super Mario RPG announcement, we got a new Princess Peach platformer that's in the works. It's a side scroller set on a theater stage, which will have some sort of transformative powers. More details will be shared soon. So I guess Peach gets her own game long last. I mean, could be good.
That's good.
I think that will be the game that will close off the Switch. That'll be the finale, the encore, whatever you want to call it. That's what they'll pull the curtains on the Switch, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I mean, that game is coming up on this list, I think.
What do you mean? No, like I said, it's coming out for the Switch, but I think that will be the last, these games that we have here will be, because I mean, the Super Mario, we'll get to it, like the other 2D Super Mario game, Super Mario RPG, they seem to be well into production, but with this Peach one, they're only able to show a very small section of it, and they said, more details to come. They weren't like going into it. So I think on the development timeline, I think this Peach game will be after all of these other games, and I have a funny feeling that's what's going to close out the Switch's, at least the Switch 1 life cycle. I don't know if we're going to get a Switch 2 or a new console.
Man, I get so much satisfaction out of just imagining what Nintendo's next console will be. like just trying to come up with whatever wacky idea they're going to do next.
Nothing's going to beat that.
Labo?
No, who came up with that idea for the KFC chicken heater? Remember that one?
God, shit, who was that? Was that an Xbox thing?
No. That was some like Samsung or
third party, whatever.
Yeah.
Xbox. Someone had a weird mini fridge, a funny mini fridge, which I was actually looked pretty cool. But we'll get on to the next little ones before we finish up. So we've also got a remaster of a DS sequel, Luigi's Mansion 2, which is in development for Switch.
Oh, remake of
the DS Luigi's Mansion, which I mean, cool, but I'm not excited for that at all. Like, it doesn't look
really
well. I enjoyed the Luigi's Mansions, but will I play it again on the Switch? No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. That's not a port I'd play.
I would.
And
I'd never got it on the DS though, so.
Well, because I suppose that's where we
on the market.
Yeah, and I'm the market for RPG. You know, that's where we stand. So Rocksteady is bringing the Batman Arkham trilogy to Switch, so you can play Asylum City and Night on the small screen with all the DLC in autumn this year. Only took them about 8 years to get them.
Is it gonna run?
Who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of things that don't. The Witcher 3 was the funniest.
That's exactly what I think of straight away. Yeah. Arkham City on the Switch. Ooh, okay.
We also got Gloomhaven, a card-based RPG based on the board game, and that's going to release on the 18th of September. Just Dance 2024 edition, which will include some pop bangers when it arrives on the 24th of October.
Right, can we just pause for a sec? Just Dance, I'm imagining a Joy-Con in each hand kind of deal.
Yeah, that's what they've always done. I've always considered this.
Cool, because I don't know how to use my feet when I'm dancing. So that's
I just imagine for training for a year on the Switch to Just Dance. We go to an actual club and it's just us, all upper body, like
just
the inflatable waving arm.
Woo, we got this. Then we got Silent Hope is an action RPG featuring 7 wordless warriors with a cute cartoon style that's coming 3rd of October. It's not for me because it's the same kind of sprites that they did for the Nintendo DS remasters of the old Final Fantasies. That kind of real cutesy sprite.
The chibis?
Yes, the chibis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Then we got Fae Farm arrives 8th of September. We got Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, Turbocharged arrives 9th of October.
Man, I was almost so excited for this one because I thought, did you ever play Micro Machines for the
Micro Machines? Yeah,
for the NES?
Yeah.
Oh my god, one of my favorite games ever. And I thought they were going to like remake
Not
a
the
game
same.
like that. No.
Do you ever remember Circuit Breakers, Luke? PlayStation 1.
I remember Mashed.
Mash. So this is pre-Mashed. Mash. I forgot Mash existed. Also
Mashed
a great game.
Good. I have Mashed on Steam. Oh, great game.
We should get a game of Mash.
Circuit Breakers, no.
Circuit Breakers was like a PlayStation version of like, you know, that kind of Micro Machines. If you're the car is the last one on the screen, you get knocked out. They had cool power-ups and stuff like that. I'd love to see. If everyone's out there making remakes, Circuit Breakers, hear me out.
Right.
Then we got DLC for Ubisoft's Mario and Rabbids. Spark of Hope is now available. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. And then we got Pikmin 4, which does not interest me in the slightest. I thought I was like, hey, maybe this big announcement of Pikmin 4 is what will get me to understand why there was 3 of them before this.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I don't get
it. Dragging my boy.
It's never appealed to me. And one of the funny things was in that trailer, you should watch the trailer. The trailer's a laugh, actually. They were like selling you all the things. They're like, and this dog creature will follow you around. How exciting is that? And now you can go out at nighttime. And I was like, fuck me, this game sounds really boring.
Pikmin just achieved the like day and night cycles level of gameplay that Minecraft had.
So next one we got Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is on its way to Switch, which I was very chuffed about. And this was the only, I think they announced that collection being available for PlayStation, but didn't go into what was included. But we will get Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, as well as the original Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 Solid Snake.
The original like NES
versions,
yeah. I'm surprised that's not already on the like virtual console they have, but
we'll get that along with the digital graphic novel and its sequel and a whole kind of like encyclopedia breakdown of the storyline and characters. So it's actually a very, very decent collection. I mean, if you want to be really confused, have a read of that next time.
Thick book.
That'll make no sense.
All I can picture is like that. You know that meme of Charlie Day from It's
Wait,
Always Sunny.
The notice board. Yeah.
And there's Ninja, and he's cool, and he wears a suit and's got a sword, and his name is Ninja.
No, his name's Deep Throat.
The lale lulilo. I don't know. Actually, that's the funny thing. It's so ingrained in me how stupid that storyline is. I'm sure if you did a count, I probably said the lale lulilo. I don't know how many times in this podcast, just because it makes me laugh so much. And then there's a couple of others. I'm just trying to see if there's any decent ones to mention. The Star Ocean 2 Second Story Ore looks great. Chris, you and me look excited about that.
I went looking for, because I was like, surely this remake exists. I went looking for it a while back. Ended up settling on the first Star Ocean. There's a remake on the Switch.
Yeah.
Played that. Still pretty good. But Star Ocean 2 has got a special place in my heart. One of my favorite of all time. It was the first game I think I played that had like multiple endings, like a lot of multiple endings.
Star Ocean 2 was my first in the series and my favorite. I played that one, and I played, there was one that came out on the PlayStation 2, maybe early PlayStation 3.
Was it Till the End of Time or something with the blue-haired
dude?
Fate Line God, or what was it? I think it was Until the End of Time.
That was a good one too, but yeah, the Star Ocean 2 was definitely my favorite. Then also we have another WarioWare game, and then we'll kind of Mario Deluxe got its other characters, nobody really exciting. And then we got the new Super Mario's 2D game called Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which, I mean, it's a 2D Mario platformer with gorgeous visuals and adorably detailed animations. It will feature Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, and Yoshi as playable characters, in addition to Mario, Luigi, and Toad. More details will be on the way soon, ahead of its 20th of October release. Interesting that it's coming out on the 20th of October, and this is the first anybody ever heard of it. Like, that's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, they can crank these out like it's nothing these days. And honestly, I was surprised that this was the last announcement.
Yeah.
I still think 2D Mario jumped the shark with Super Mario World. Like, nothing has really interested me as much since then.
No, 3D World. Or no, sorry.
No, Super Mario World, but like SNES.
SNES one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, well.
I mean, I've played, I mean, like, my favorite of all time is Super Mario Bros. 3, no doubt. Super Mario World is amazing. But those 2D ones are a lot of fun.
Super Mario Bros. 3 is definitely, like, it's up there. It's close to the other one, but I would understand why the SNES one has a bigger fan base.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just more to do.
I grew up on 3 too, and I loved it, especially with all the power, like Frog Suit. And, like,
Frog Suit. Frog Suit has a level of fame amongst myself and Danny when we played each time. Yeah, we'll always waste that Frog Suit. But I'm excited for a 2D. I played almost all the 2D Marios, and although it's kind of like a rinse and repeat, I'm into it. And this Wonder one is like, it's got cute, like it is different animations, and the power up stuff in it looks a little bit different, a little bit like nice. And like I said, like the whole Nintendo Direct just screamed to me, "Yeah, we're closing up shop soon."
Yeah,
here's what you're getting, because it's just nothing but kind of remakes. And like I said, we got like Super Mario Bros. Wonders, and then that Peach game. But there's nothing on that to say. And like, I mean, what can you say after Zelda? You know, Tears of the Kingdom. So that was it. That was all of our Nintendo Direct. I mean, are you excited? What do you see in Nintendo's future, fellas?
I mean, yeah, someone's got to give soon, because they're really, dredging the depths with. I mean, there was some cool announcements, things we've been waiting for ages, but like, what's going to be the new banger? Are they going to release another Zelda on the Switch? I mean,
no, they couldn't. They couldn't possibly. I mean,
so they have to announce something soon, I think.
And I'll kind of leave on this question before we finish up. The next piece of hardware from Nintendo, is it the Switch 2, or do we get like a new console, like we kind of like GameCube-esque type thing? What are your thoughts?
They're going to go off the fucking rails again and go right into VR.
Yeah,
Virtual Boy 2.
Yeah.
And you have to build it yourself when you get it.
It's a headset, but there's gloves, and there's a chest piece, and there's trackers on your legs, and you're like fully. I don't know what happens next.
There's an add-on for Rob the Robot where you can like box him.
Yeah, Rock'em Sock'em Robots is the only game on it.
Yeah, I hope to God that's not it. I really do. But yeah, guys, thanks a minute for sticking by for the news. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun.
If you want to get more news, which we're about to talk about the stories that did make it into our final cut, you can check out our post show, which we're just about to go into on patreon.com/the gift of gaming. And until then, Chris, Luke, thank you very much for sticking around. And to our listeners out there, keep enjoying the gift that is gaming. Peace out.
See you. Bye.